As the world experiences a breakdown in societal structures with disrupted supply chains, surging inflation, and an increase in natural disasters and cyber threats, the situation is becoming more volatile. Corruption and moral decay in establishments and escalating social unrest are further exacerbating the situation. Those who are anxious about their prospects have already started gathering the basics, isolating themselves from the rest of the community. Meanwhile, others are stunned as they witness the collapse of the very foundations they've always relied on. The cost of essential commodities has skyrocketed in recent times, making it difficult for many Americans to afford basic necessities such as food and supplies. Unfortunately, this trend is expected to persist, and severe civil unrest and a collapse of economic, financial, and social systems are looming. To help prepare for the impending crisis, we've compiled a list of 15 items that have experienced significant price hikes recently and are poised to become even more unaffordable in the near future. It's crucial to stock up on these products now before they become even more expensive or unavailable in stores. The price of meals ready to eat, MREs, has surged significantly since the pandemic began in 2019. A box of assorted MRE items that previously cost around $1.44 now costs no less than $1.130 due to a surge in demand and rising material and food costs. It's important to stock up on MREs before supply chains break down, and panic buying drives prices to unprecedented levels. Surviving during times of chaos depends on having food stocks, and stockpiling MREs can keep you safe and well-fed. Support our work by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing before we dive into the rest of the list. The aluminum shortage is still plaguing the canned food industry, causing prices to skyrocket for some items. In the last few years, there has been a steady increase in demand for canned meats, fruits, and vegetables, particularly since 2020. Unfortunately, supply is dwindling, and in many parts of the country, canned meats are out of stock, with no estimated time for restocking. According to the New York Times, China, one of the world's largest aluminum can manufacturers, has had to close several plants due to the high cost of coal required to keep factories running. Other manufacturing hubs using coal to produce aluminum have also shut down recently, which means canned food prices will continue to rise and they will become increasingly scarce. If you want to be prepared for the worst, make sure to stock up on essential canned goods during your next visit to the grocery store. The need for self-defense gear became apparent during the social unrest that gripped our streets. This resulted in a surge in demand for self-defense tools in 2020 and 2021, driving up their prices. These items are critical during emergencies or survival scenarios, making it concerning that their prices continue to rise. It would be wise to purchase them now since they are unlikely to become cheaper. Grains are an essential part of our diets, providing fiber, antioxidants, complex carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals. Properly stored, grains can last up to 25 years and are versatile and adaptable in various recipes, making them ideal for survival. However, the global grain supply has declined by more than 25% since the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, resulting in significant price increases for wheat, corn, soy, and other grains. Additionally, the crop destruction caused by extreme weather events in 2022 is yet to impact the U.S. food supply chain. The worst of the grain shortage is yet to come, and dwindling supplies will lead to even higher prices. It is best to stockpile grains for long-term storage while they are still available, though prices may be higher than usual. Having a pantry filled with non-perishable items is crucial insurance against unforeseen circumstances in the future. Preparing for the worst-case scenario offers a sense of stability in uncertain times, with worsening geopolitical conflicts and climate events potentially causing grocery stores to face empty shelves. Despite a 3.8% decline last month, natural gas prices are still up by about 74% compared to 2019. In many parts of the world, particularly Europe, natural gas supplies are constrained to the point that governments have directed energy-heavy factories to shut down to prevent rolling power outages. To assist its European allies, the U.S. has exported a significant proportion of its own supplies, resulting in domestic inventories reaching historic lows. The natural gas scarcity has the potential to become a catastrophe, and individuals who rely on natural gas or propane for heating or cooking should stock up now to ensure they have enough to manage the impending challenges. Even homes that rely on the electrical grid should have a backup system in place, such as natural gas or wood, in the event of power disruptions. This winter, Over 1,000 blackout warnings were issued, and officials predict that things will become even more complicated in the next one. The rising frequency of cyber attacks on the U.S. power grid, combined with escalating geopolitical tensions and deteriorating relationships with economic superpowers, paints a grim outlook for the future. The prices of fuels, such as gasoline, diesel, and oil, are once again on the rise. By May, experts predict that prices for gasoline may reach up to $5 per gallon, while diesel prices could reach $6.75 per gallon. To avoid accidents, it's essential to store fuel stockpiles safely, as gasoline stations may become inaccessible during disasters. Battery prices have risen by 22% since last year due to the increased cost of materials such as cobalt, nickel, and lithium. Since devices such as flashlights, radios, and other critical equipment require multiple batteries, it's essential to have a backup supply of batteries, especially during power outages. Cooking oil is an essential item for both cooking and survival. However, prices for cooking oil have more than doubled since 2022, experiencing a 153% increase from 2020 levels due to abnormally dry weather affecting the production of sunflower, soybeans, and palm, as well as a grain shortage resulting from the Ukraine crisis. Despite the lack of price relief, it's still possible to look for sales at wholesale retailers or online. Face masks have become increasingly popular and in demand since the onset of the pandemic. Following the health crisis, the price of face masks surged by 319% according to the OECD. It's crucial to store many face masks as they can protect us from biological or chemical hazards. An N95 mask can prevent inhalation of harmful smoke, preventing lung and airway inflammation. Although face masks may be costly now, they can potentially save lives and are therefore a valuable investment. 10. Americans have experienced substantial price hikes for pain medications and empty pharmacy shelves. Popular painkillers such as Tylenol, aspirin, or Advil are in short supply. In a post-collapse world, hospitals will be barely functioning, and there is a high chance of disaster-related injuries for you or your family members. The pain may be unbearable, and the situation may become increasingly uncomfortable, particularly if it takes longer to find aid or treat the injury. Therefore, it's critical to have a reliable supply of pain medication before things worsen. If you haven't started yet, it's essential to act now. Generators are typically expensive, big-ticket items. However, their prices have increased by over 20% in the last year alone. Generac has reported increasing operational costs, volatile weather conditions, supply chain disruptions, and higher freight rates for generator manufacturers. Due to their high cost, many individuals may not consider purchasing a generator. However, if the power goes out unexpectedly, the food stored in your freezer could spoil, leaving you to endure extreme heat or cold, and your shelter may become more susceptible to external threats. Therefore, if you're prepping with a large group, splitting the cost of a generator is a good idea. In 2018, a good food dehydrator that would last for years could be purchased for about $75 to $80. Although cheaper options are available, their quality may be questionable. Today, that same dehydrator is being sold for almost $250, with demand increasing as more families cook at home. In addition to the items previously mentioned, pain medication is also becoming increasingly expensive, and empty pharmacy shelves are common. Popular painkillers like Tylenol, aspirin, and Advil are in short supply, making it challenging to manage pain in disaster-related injuries. For this reason, it is vital to ensure a reliable supply of pain medication before emergencies occur. Generators are also experiencing a price hike of over 20% in the past 12 months alone. Manufacturers are facing increasing operational costs, supply chain disruptions, volatile weather conditions, and higher freight rates. Despite the cost, generators are essential for emergency situations, especially if the power goes out unexpectedly, potentially causing food stored in freezers to spoil, leaving people vulnerable to external threats and facing extreme temperatures. Finally, face masks, which have become popular during the pandemic, are crucial for protecting against biological or chemical hazards that may be present in a post-collapse world. They are life-saving supplies and worth the investment, even though their price increased by 319% following the health crisis. Ultimately, being prepared for emergencies and the unexpected is crucial for securing a good future for you and your family.